You know what? That major was amazing and it really motivated us to play. Come play Counter-Strike with us. It will be fun. Counter-Strike's latest major, Antwerp 2022, has concluded. FaZe beat Navi 2-0, making FaZe the first truly international team to win a major. And for Navi, that's the last time we see this roster. Not only do we have the number 1 and number 2 teams in the world face off in the finals, but we also had surprising performances from teams like Imperial almost making it to the playoffs with their last dance squad, and a surprising performance from Spirit dominating the Legend stage and beating Furia in the playoffs. Of course, we can't forget another G2 collapse. Imagine being a G2 fan. Antwerp achieved very impressive viewership numbers throughout the whole event. Imperial Games attracted massive viewership, which we can give Gauls a lot of credit for, and over 2 million combined viewers for the final. Well, speaking of breaking records, there's a golden opportunity to break another. Rio 2022 is on its way. 18,000 tickets up for grabs. For perspective, Antwerp had a capacity of 20,000 and it sounded like this. Well, those 18,000 tickets sold within an hour. Bots and resellers aside, it's clear that the Brazilian fanbase is immense and extremely invested in their heroes. So much so that there's an ongoing discussion around moving the event to a football stadium so they could actually fit everyone. A CSGO major in a potentially sold out football stadium. This could legitimately have an impact on gaming culture, and of course, massive for Counter-Strike itself. Now this is very unlikely due to the current venue being booked and tickets already sold, but there will be a fan fest outside for thousands of people that got stuck on a loading screen when trying to purchase their tickets. If nothing changes, the fans outside of the arena may exceed the fans inside. The Counter-Strike is dead talks have been completely dispelled time and time again, so the player base should be increasing, right? Death, taxes, and Counter-Strike being a terrible experience for new players. What's one narrative that has always existed in the history of Counter-Strike? Counter-Strike is the hardest FPS. It's a point of pride for Counter-Strike players. The skill gap is massive, one of the largest in any competitive game. Counter-Strike skills transfer to other games. You're good at Counter-Strike, you're going to be instantly decent at other FPS. If you flip the script, a good FPS player touching Counter-Strike for the first time is going to be absolutely trash. The one exception being Valorant, of course, as they share the same identity. But does it really have to be this way? There's no problem with having a massive skill gap. That's Counter-Strike's brand. It doesn't work for a game like COD, as it's centered around a more casual console player base. The core principles of Counter-Strike are designed to be difficult, to be learned, and to be refined. That's how people can put thousands of hours into this one game over the course of 10 years and still feel the desire to pop into a deathmatch and shoot heads. Constantly refining. But how do you even get to the point where you understand the skill set you need to improve? Well, Counter-Strike has a training system of sorts. How Valve intended to prepare people for online play is through the weapon course. It reminds me a lot of the COD 4 training mode, and considering COD 4 came out 2 years earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if some inspiration was taken. Upon entering the weapons course, you are forced to pick up a weapon and spray it onto a stationary target. The difference between a CT and T player model, even though this is irrelevant today due to purchasable agents. Moving on to the rifle section of the map, instead of a traditional bullseye, you actually shoot player models, and their health reflects the health of a real player in the game. While flashes, smokes, and mollies may be the most significant nades in CS, HE grenades were the nades of choice. Not the most effective system, but nade trajectory is a tricky thing to learn after transitioning from other first-person shooters. What Valve did include at the very least was a flashbang thrown at you that you have to turn away from. A very significant part of the game, and hopefully those 2 seconds prepared you for B bomb site executes.
Deploying flashbang.
Last but not least, for the tutorial section of the weapons course, you plant and defuse a bomb. Not much to say here, it serves its purpose. To complete the training, you do a COD 4 style obstacle course combining some of the tricks you have learned: spraying through walls, throwing grenades, jumping, crouching. This type of training course was great for COD, and I had a ton of fun racing my friends. In Counter-Strike though, the game is built on challenging principles, so not so much. And after that short little stint, you're off to casual, deathmatch, war games, whatever your choice is. As you would expect for any new Counter-Strike player, once they complete this training, if they even decided to play it, would get absolutely demolished. I can speak from personal experience, as Global Offensive was my first ever FPS on PC. It took me 3 casual games just to get my first kill. It probably took me a month until I stopped getting kicked from games, and I was really never brave enough to play competitive. That was back in 2015, when the overall skill level was low. Now we have these demons that just play casual all day every day, or those that actually use Valve DM to warm up for some godforsaken reason. Like most players, I resorted to playing against bots for a good amount of time just to figure out map layouts and basic mechanics. Unfortunately, bots fight like they're in the 1700s, so you don't actually understand how the map is meant to be played. You don't need a robust training system, that's not what I'm saying, but there are some minor changes that would make the player's initial Counter-Strike experience substantially better. First off, I can't believe there is no mention of shift walking, one of the most important movement mechanics in the game, as it allows you to move relatively quick without making noise. You can hop in a silver game and people crouch walk or run. Why is there not just a little section where you have to sneak past someone turned around? When you can't aim and your movement is trash, of course you're going to get dominated when you're stomping around the whole map. More nade training would also be very nice. I never bought Molotovs because they don't do the 50 damage chunk that a grenade will do, so what's the point? If you don't understand how a grenade works, you're not going to buy it. On top of that, what about some more mechanics? Look, I'm probably alone on this, but it took me 4 years to find out that you can hold left click and right click to do a medium throw. Probably could have used that once or twice in those 4 years. Valve gives us the tools, we make the product. The original Counter-Strike was just a Half-Life mod. The community funded the tournaments years before Valve had majors. The community created FACEIT and ESC8, your road to a pro career. Surfing, B-Hop, zombies, flying scoutsmen, the market in general. If Valve doesn't want to integrate changes into their outdated weapons course, compensate those who did. YPAC maps for any kind of smoke you would ever need on all active and some inactive maps. Aimbots and other effective aim and recoil trainers. This amazing randomly generated map so you can't just memorize the layouts and pre-fire the bots. The community has made some very robust practice maps for anything you would ever feel the need to work on. But if you don't even know how to get there, or don't even know how the workshop works, how do you even know these maps exist? Whether Valve would want to make their own versions, or make the map standard with every game download, compensating the creators like they do with skins and cases, it would greatly benefit the new players. I mean, it's just insane to me that there is no way to look at the spray pattern of a weapon. You have to go and spray a wall. I remember when I first started out, I just googled spray patterns of weapons because I had no clue. Whatever happens, I just think it's ridiculous for the new players to have to download community maps just to understand core Counter-Strike mechanics. If you have friends to play with, whether you win or lose, you're just starting out, so it doesn't really matter. What's difficult is where you end up. Are you going to grind FACEIT, trying to seek higher competition? Maybe you're just going to grind through the matchmaking ranks. Maybe you have no desire to go pro, so you're okay with just playing matchmaking. Or maybe finding a new avenue with community modes like surfing. I'm not going to be the guy that just says fix VAC. It's an open source game and VAC gets frequent updates if you check the spikes on accounts banned. What I would like to do is draw attention to the way matchmaking actually functions. Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant, Apex Legends. What do all of these have in common? Your ranks actually mean something. The problem that seems to be prevalent in NA is that not enough people are willing to play matchmaking. So between rank decay and the Smurfs, we have a rank distribution that's absolutely disgusting. We need a way to get people actively playing matchmaking again. This way, a face at level 10 doesn't play his first match in months and drops 50 kills on silver 2s. For context, one of my good friends reached level 10 on 2 different Faceit accounts, and he is hard stuck Gold Nova. So let me introduce Apex Legends. Apex has a series of ranks, and the final rank is achieved when you reach the top 750 players based on their rating points. On top of this, there's seasons and season splits. During a split or new season, you are dropped to 1.5 ranks. It keeps the top players from stomping the bots in low ranks by not completely wiping their rank, but it forces them to play every split if they want to maintain their rank. The goal here is to achieve a proper rank distribution based on skill in Counter-Strike. By constantly bringing new and old players back to matchmaking for more than one game just to avoid rank decay, we should achieve on average higher quality games in low and high ranks. Silver would be maintained by lower skilled players or those without experience, and those that do have experience or the desire to win should never really drop below DMG. Now, season splits are a little unnecessary for Counter-Strike in my opinion. I believe a biannual adjustment would give people enough time to play if they wanted to climb a few ranks, but not so long that people get their rank and matchmaking becomes desolate again. Usually the response I see to this system is that hackers will just run the top ranks. Well, if something equivalent to Apex Predator was implemented into each major region like Valve does majors, I would hope that it would be very easy to track boosters and hackers. By entering that elite group, those grinding for the top rank will not hesitate to report, and although I have known Valve for years, I hope that it would push them to take these reports seriously. Counter-Strike has a massive opportunity to blow up with a real major. I don't want that wasted because all we have are the old fans. It'd be nice to bring in some new blood, some new fans to Counter-Strike, and actually give them a roadmap to learn the game. The inspiration from this video came from the Antwerp Major viewership and the recent reports about the real major looking like it could be one of the largest esport events. For us skin guys, more people discovering and falling in love with Counter-Strike correlates to more item sales. 2 million combined viewers for the Antwerp Major. What happens to the player base? Nothing. That's fine for now, but Rio could legitimately impact gaming culture, and if we miss out on this opportunity because new players try it out, get smacked, get told that everyone that plays CS is walling or aim hacking, and decide to never play again, we have just missed an absolutely massive opportunity. If you're sitting here going, oh god, it's just one of those skin guys that wants to make money, you're not entirely wrong, but do understand I have over 4,000 hours in this game, actively played for a Faceit team, and have gone to multiple LANs in the past. My large investment into CSGO items exists because I was emotionally invested in this game for 5 years. It's not just about skins for me, but for a lot of people in the community, including myself, another boom like the Chinese boom we had in 2019 would be absolutely massive. Can Valve actually capitalize on the most entertaining esport in the world, or will they let it slip through their fingers? I want Counter-Strike to be the biggest game in the world. I want my investments to go up when people try out the game. I really hope we see some changes, because with the way it is today, I'm not sure how many new fans we can bring to Counter-Strike. Valorant is more player friendly. It's player friendly by design. And in the modern day and age, that matters.